That's right over there.
When?
Last time I was here.
When you get uploaded.
I gotta get a movie maker or something like that.
Go back.
Yo, listen to this. This is here when it's not raining.
Yeah. That's what it sounds like in my house.
Loud.
Yeah.
Why does your date say December 23rd, 2012,
No, the dates
dude?
are off.
So what were you saying about Irene?
Yeah, so anyway, after Hurricane Irene, at that point I was, I didn't even know if I was into the whole preppy thing yet.
So what is it? What's the sound?
I mean, I always prep, but
Rain?
I didn't know the term at the time.
Rain?
Yeah.
No, that's the crickets and animals.
What year was that? That was
Irene was
That's how loud it
3
is,
years.
3 years ago?
Sandy was a year ago, was it?
No, I see
Yeah,
it.
Sandy was a year ago. So Irene was
The year prior, 2 years prior maybe?
yeah.
Yeah,
No, well, there was Sandy and Irene were 1 year apart,
right.
and this was a year from Sandy. Wasn't Sandy a year ago when they took out the Atlantic
No,
City?
the dates are wrong.
The whole boardwalk. I think it
Or
was,
no, that was a different one. That was Arthur. There was Arthur, Sandy, and Irene.
that was like 2012, I think.
Yeah. Yep.
Anyway, so no, I was prepping at that time, and I realized based on where I lived and helping some elderly neighbors, I need to step up my game. So pretty much
So you said you packed up a
when we had Sandy,
Is it going to show on this?
thank you,
Yeah, yeah.
there's nothing I needed. I mean, everybody was in a scramble for water and ice and all that baloney.
Yeah.
I had enough food and water and various other items like my propane stoves, propane grills, and the heaters for at least 3 months.
That's good.
And I also keep on hand now in the shed, I've got 25 gallons of gas.
All right.
So I was even concerned about the whole panic of gas. I figured out maybe that would last, you know, a couple weeks.
Yeah.
And, you know, and luckily I'm my own boss, so I didn't really have to go anywhere if I didn't have to.
All right.
I can, you know, send one of my other guys to handle stuff. They live closer to where the jobs will be, because most of my work is all in Westchester County.
All right.
And
That's so loud, man.
and then I just did the scramble to, you know, beef up a little more on other things, you know, with all the government craziness and everything else. So I got into the whole YouTube thing. Started for me was kind of weird, because being a theater guy, I was just happened to be on YouTube one night. This probably goes back to maybe, I don't know, I want to say 2009-ish, maybe 8-ish. And that's when I first learned the term EDC. I was researching something on YouTube, and I saw this girl who reviewed all these knives and stuff. It was CRFN Alley Cat or something, and she's also a stagehand. So whatever I was researching that night that had to do with theater, it came up, My Theater EDC, and I'm like, what the heck is EDC? And she was going through her basic tools, but she also had a Benchmade folder and a small survival kit and a small first aid kit, all in a Maxpedition bag. And then once I watched her video on her EDC, you know, Cutlery Lover and all these other guys had to pop it up about their EDC and get home bags and bug out bags. I said, what the heck is all this? And I said, holy moly. I said, this is stuff that I've been doing.
Yeah.
And I didn't realize it was like a whole separate, like it's another culture. It's a whole lifestyle that's not mainstream. It's like kind of, you know.
Mainstream mocks us sometimes.
Yeah. And now you're starting to see it everywhere. Like all these stores are all selling everything as, you know, doomsday kits and survival kits and zombie apocalypse kits, and it's kind of like, I don't know, it's insulting.
I mean,
And a lot of it's so commercial. A lot of it is such junk.
in the 70s, or back in the years in the 70s where I used to live, I mean, seriously, that's where and when you needed to know how to survive.
Right.
I mean, I personally myself didn't have a backpack. I didn't have a medical kit or the knives or small or big. This was just, it was a mental survivor. Spiritual, mental, not losing control. you're as one self to yourself, and we didn't have to carry anything with us.
Right.
Just a bottle of water, because that's something that, water gets dirty, and you can take that with you, and you can survive. But
Many things.
nothing like, like the world here it's been described in the YouTube, and people are showing all types of gear and backpacks and survival kits. But simply, my experience years ago was just simple.
Yeah.
This fire is nice and warm.
Right, much like the native Indians, right? Just
See, that's
Because when you
study.
simplify your mind, you can just, be barefooted, don't have heavy stuff on you, and just run on into the woods. It's just the mind, the way it takes control and becomes as one as the nature. Because once your mind adopts the nature, you are as one. It's like your brother, cousin, your sister, like your mother, like you know them for life. Because you just survive.
yeah.
That's just the way it is. It is like that.
Simplicity, though. Simplicity. is
Exactly.
always-
Because if you have so many things, what are you going to take with you if crisis hit? Which one? You want everything. You love it. You want it. And then you become over materialistic. Which one do you want to take with you?
that's a problem.
And then you get confused. And that's when hesitation kicks in. And
Yeah.
that's where the problem comes.
Well, that's why preparedness
Second guessing,
also
yeah.
means training. There's no confusion if you're prepared, if you drill, if you train. Like when we did that bug out vehicle weekend, when you and I went out into the mountains, that was a little bit of training for me.
Now, who said one thing, that being in the woods for 3 days, 4 days, without taking food with you, what would you eat? How would you hunt? What kind of tools would you make for yourself
When I'm out of here.
to hunt? If you can survive that 7 days in the forest, and everything else comes in front of you, you will master it.
So that's the whole thing. It's like, having all these bags and all this gear is all well and good, but if it's taken from us or we lose it and we just have nothing but the knife on our belt
Right,
or our brain,
right.
and we don't know anything about hunting, primitive living, how to identify medicinal plants,
Right.
what to eat, what not to eat, you're dead. It's
A
all
10-year-old is a young boy. A 20-year-old boy is just opening his eyes and becoming part of the city life. A 30-year-old boy, a 30-year-old man is halfway to be a middle-aged man. If he's not physically fit, he won't be able to survive. A 40-year-old man will become more settled, because he worked 20 years and he's tired. A 50-year-old man, he barely can survive in the woods
right.
because he's too settled. And then some, if it's physically fit, they would survive.
Unless you keep yourself fit and trained and physically active. That's important.
And
I don't care what age. Back in the old days, the biblical days, they were 80-year-old men fighting battles.
yeah.
And the older men were the tough men. So I'm a strong believer in staying fit.
Let me tell you something. My landlord, he just turned 92 this past June. 92. He's an old Italian mason. He's out there in 100-degree weather, breaking up concrete, digging holes, weeding, gardening. And it's like, I'm 40 years old and I don't have the endurance to do what that man can do.
Yeah,
And,
you grew up doing that. So you're used to it.
Only you could say 2% out of 100. You can say 5% out of 100. Only those who are 90s and 80s or 60s and 50s, 70s, they can take they could handle any endurance.
Yeah.
Physically, mentally, when it comes to it. But if I would say 90% of it, 90% of people, they don't have interest. And when the crisis hit, hurricanes, Mother Nature, this shakes the earth, and people are very much confused. They don't know what to do because they are not prepared.
Let me turn that light on again in the front.
And guys like you and others on YouTube and small channel, big channels, they teach. Guys like Troy, they show them how to do. So you guys are the tools, and the people are people that need to use those tools and buff them into themselves and train themselves to be strong and deal with it. Like in my case, when the hurricane finally kicked in, next day I went down to the supermarket. There was nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah, no milk, no juice. Everything's on
No
the floor.
water.
Nothing. I mean, people just literally grabbed everything. Because selfishness kicks in. When their selfishness kicks in, everyone thinks about their belly, their family, their kids, which is normal. Which is very much normal. But those who fall behind, the older ones, the elderly, they can't go, and they're the ones who are going to suffer. There will be no more food left in the supermarkets, restaurants.
I couldn't find a D battery for 2 months.
No, there was nothing.
Yeah.
It was crazy. Survival to me, I'll sum it up very simply. I've been through many situations, but I used to always, for as far back as I can remember, I always had food provisions. And even before the hurricanes, one time I lost my job, and I lived for 3 months on my supplies, my food supplies.
Yeah.
Eating that until I got another job and could afford to restock and to provide for myself. And that was close, whatever that is. There's something moving
Sound
out
like
there.
a tree. So.
Go look.
Well, anyway,
Point away.
I survived on my food stash,
Mm-hmm.
and that's what it's all about. Now, if it's longer term,
To the left. Behind the
then
tent.
then I'm prepared.
It's coming right behind
But
you.
I'm happy I had it.
Slowly, slowly.
So what's going on the side here
To
is
the right.
there's something moving out in the forest,
1 o'clock.
and the guys are trying to locate it. It's been getting closer and closer with the time.
Something hungry.
Well, I don't know if it's hungry or not, but it's coming closer, whatever it is.
It's quite possible just admiring my new Bear Grylls tent.
Is it a Bear Grylls tent?
Of course it is.
He's
Yeah?
He's at the.
We're going to
at
find
3
out if
o'clock.
it's a bear grilled tent.
Yeah, exactly. We'll see if the Bear Grylls tent could protect the bison.
He's about 100, 150 feet away from us.
Bugging in tonight is bugging out on the outskirts of the camp, where I would never find myself, to be honest.
Well, it didn't seem that far away till it got dark.
I know.
Oh, my God.
He's out there a ways. I like my survival truck. I like to get into the back of a hard-shelled vehicle and lay down in my comfy mattress.
With a man with a machete.
Yep. Yeah. Eric and I have been through a lot of crazy stuff out in the forest and out in the woods. We've been through a blizzard together. We were up in the Catskills. I had my 79 survival truck camper on a 69 two-wheel drive beat up old truck. And we decided we were going to go up to the Catskills and go and have an outing. We knew a blizzard was coming, but we thought, that'll just be an adventure. Well, we got snowed in hardcore at the top of a mountain. I had, though, wisely backed the truck up at the end of a dead-end lane, facing downhill, knowing that at least if we were going to get snowed in, at least if I'm facing downhill, it'll give me a head start getting out of the blizzard.
Right.
And it helped, because the next day we had, what do we have, 18, 19? That is seriously something over there. Did you hear that?
I just heard it, so I just turned.
It's closer.
I didn't hear anything.
That's behind you.
Shall we all take a look?
I think we should take a look. All right.
You really heard
camera out.
something?
Yeah, where you been?
Oh, sleep.
Are you serious? I'm thinking there's people. You know what?
Yeah.
I'm thinking there's people.
I think so.
I'm thinking that the people that we're driving around are exploring.
Yeah, but where's the light?
I'm thinking it's stuff falling.
No,
Old
no,
branches.
no, that's too much in one spot.
No, actually, the last one was over here. But no, the last one was over here.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking might be people. Because there's too many things been happening right here the whole time. Yeah, but you know what? I live in the woods, and dead trees don't fall around in the same general area that often. Alright, everybody get the pistol. Get your gun. Come on, let's go. Go, go, go.
You still filming?
Just make a circle.